Welcome to the December Shrewsbury Housing Authority Board meeting. I will. It is easier. And we are, we've done several in a row here, so that's been nice. But we've had some topics to discuss. So moving through the agenda, I know the first item is approval of the minutes, and I know, Paul, you had a change, and I do as well.
Yes, with your permission, Mr. Chair, I would like to approve the minutes as printed. Now, as they're printed in our packet, they say November 9th on the minutes, but in the budget, the agenda item, which is a public document, they say October 5th minutes. So I would just like to amend them with the typo correction in the budget, in the agenda line item, to say November 9th minutes.
9th.
So I'd like to approve the November 9th minutes as printed, amending the line item in the agenda to say November 9th.
Hold that thought, because I also had a change.
Where is it?
So all the way to the top, if you go right there, it says October.
Oh.
But since that's the
So the
public
first-
record that we're approving those minutes, I just wanted to.
October 5th, but they were
Oh, okay,
actually the
but-
November minutes, so obviously a boilerplate, so.
But
the-
that doesn't need to, can I just make a point of that? That doesn't need to amend the minutes, because this is this month's schedule, so.
Right, but as a
This is
public
just telling
agenda,
it.
I wasn't sure if we had
Okay,
to,
all right.
for the agenda that was publicly posted, that was my only concern.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, not a big deal,
I also get it correct.
not a big deal.
The other comment I had was under old business, the Jefferson Shrewsbury Limited Partnership. The board voted to accept lease terms pending HUD's approval letter. I think we should put in there that the board voted 3-1 with one person recusing themselves. Just for the record, we know exactly what the vote was.
I'm recusing myself.
Yes, you're recusing yourself.
Yeah, I think, I have no issue with that. I think it's equally important to note that somebody was recused in case there's a potential conflict of interest that's
Right.
pointed out downstream. So I think that's a good catch.
And as a common policy, you should absolutely say what your vote was,
Right.
Right.
so.
So I think you know the 3-1 count, so I think that's
And then with
fine.
one. So now your motion.
So I would like to approve the November minutes.
Oh, were there any other comments? All right, now your motion.
I would like to approve the November minutes amended to include the old business vote regarding the Jefferson Limited Partnership, as well as amending the line item in the December budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
That's usually not that complicated.
I know, really, on minutes. You can tell it's gonna be a day. All right, moving into our operating statement and the treasurer's report. Any comments or questions on this?
Just that it appears that we are operating okay.
We're in great shape.
We
This seems,
we have a little bit of a deficit.
Can everyone hear Richard out there? Good.
I guess we have a little bit of a deficit on the second page, 2023.
It starts off that way, and then it goes to prorated, then actual amount is $187.25.
Okay. All right. I'm fine.
yeah,
All right,
we're doing great.
Oh,
any
yeah.
other questions on the treasurer's report?
No, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving along to the account balances.
That doesn't require a vote.
Nope, that's FYI.
Yep.
Looks great, and we're gonna revisit this
Yes.
later in this
Later.
meeting, I believe.
Yes, we are.
Yep.
So,
The check register, is there anything, Richard, did you have something on the check register?
No, I just think that with regard to item number 21296, the trash removal services.
I could have laid odds on that.
I think I know this comes up on a regular basis, at least every few or 6 months. But I really do feel that we should be going out for a bid on this. Because I just think that bill is outrageous.
So it is expensive. I agree with Mr. Ricker, and what I had said to him off camera, is I feel like this is something we do, as you said, every 6 months, 9 months, every few quarters, where I think the bill creeps up slowly over time, and I think this is a practice in this industry. I don't think this is anything nefarious. And then we call or check or negotiate, and it goes back down. But yeah, maybe a bid or a guaranteed contract or statement of work or something. So that's a comment. It's not a directive. But.
I will note, though, that, you know, in some cases here, we're dealing with 6 lifts per week, is what they're saying.
Wow.
So that's a lot.
Do you think trash is getting in there from other sources than our residents?
I don't know that that would necessarily be the case, because we have trash enclosures, so.
We do. I mean, there's been times where I've caught somebody out here. There's been times at Francis Gardens.
Yes, we have.
But overall, I mean, not that much where it's overloading
so every
that
once
we
in a
have to
while.
call them.
Okay, all right.
We've
I can
had-
tell you that I think everybody suffers that, and I recently put cameras at my dumpsters and actually caught someone almost immediately putting mattresses in them, which just irked me to no end.
Right.
But I caught them, and it was because of cameras. Do we have cameras on our dumpsters?
We do here.
Yes.
We have a Francis Garden too.
Good.
So
We
I
caught
think
some-
that's
we caught
probably.
someone there.
I don't think that's part of the problem. Maybe 80-20, 90-10. But I just think this industry is notorious for scope creep.
And there is and this past year or two has been brutal in terms of the fuel surcharges and everything else. I just think it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to think about, you know, putting together a bid package and going out to bid on it. You know.
And when's our contract up?
This was a month-to-month. This wasn't
Okay,
a bid.
okay.
We just went with the prices from, I want to say, 3 years ago.
It was, I
Right,
think,
yeah,
3
I
years
was
ago.
definitely on this board when we talked about it.
Yeah.
So do you need a motion to pursue an RFP?
No, I don't think she does. My suggestion would be that we just ask the director to, our executive director to review the billings that we've got and determine whether a bid would be in order, and then if so, present us with a bid next month,
Okay,
or later if you're too busy.
We'd have to put it in the paper.
Yeah.
Do the whole thing, so it could be a couple of months.
okay. All right,
Yeah, no,
okay.
I'm just saying, you know, you can come back to us and tell us whether you think it's something that we should do, and just asking for a review, that's all.
Okay. Which reminds me of something Mario has brought up before, is our contract with the washing machines.
Ah,
June.
June, okay, June. All right.
We're having too many
And is
problems.
that all 3, or is that just
Oh, that's all?
all of
three?
them in June?
Yeah.
are we
Okay.
still having all the same problems?
I'm having the same problems at Francis Garden. I just called again. This will be the 4th time on the same machine. And I believe it's because the tenants are overloading these machines and they're made to take a big load. And they're complaining.
Well, we had some issues where we were getting the wrong stuff in the machines too.
Right.
Is that
Right.
still happening?
That's still happening, yep.
Oh, jeez. That issue wasn't at
At
Francis.
That was
Francis.
here.
Yeah.
That was here.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of anything lately.
What, that a machine is out?
No, not that a machine is out.
That we're seeing the wrong things deposited in machines.
Yes, I know.
I mean, I don't stand and watch, but.
No, dirty, we're talking about.
Did,
Oh,
If
I
we
can't
put
have that
cameras.
conversation.
And we put
Okay.
cameras there?
yeah, I
Yes.
think
It's been a little better.
been
Okay.
getting better. It's been
It's
better.
getting, you know, for what she.
So maybe the cameras helped.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, good, all right, but we're still up for contract in June, and we'll go out to bid. Can we go out before then, so that we can potentially make a change in June, or do we have to wait till June?
I think it's the 6 months before we
Okay.
can.
Okay.
We just have to.
Yeah, I
let
think we have to
them
do it
know.
in a manner that we're not gonna have a lapse.
Right.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, so that's on the list then, must be for
Oh, there's a
January to
whole
get
list.
started. Oh, there's a list, okay.
And we're checking it twice.
Yeah. All right. Washer dryers. All right, anything else on the check register that we need to discuss?
If If there isn't, Ms. Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the 72 checks in the amount of $156,889.86.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Portability out register, there are 2 checks on here.
I'll make a motion that we approve both checks in the amount of 2211.10.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. We have the,
Landlord and tenant check registers. Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve that in the amount of $157,657.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Payroll?
And if I could, I'd make a motion that we approve the payroll as printed.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Maria seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And we have the vacancy report. Do we have November and December in here?
It's in November.
Yeah.
November.
November, okay. I thought I wrote somewhere that we had November and December, okay. So vacancy report for here, we have 2 vacancies.
Did you skip over?
I think you
one?
skipped
We,
over.
uh,
Did I
we
skip over
Skipped
something?
over Francis
Oh,
Gardens.
sorry. All right.
Francis Gardens, no vacancies. Elizabeth Gardens,
Elizabeth Gardens has 1 vacancy. It's a priority 4, and we're in the process of landlord reference inquiry.
Vet, Shrewsbury,
what's the priority for?
yeah,
Is
refresh me.
homeless, no fault of their own.
And that's that's one of the CHAMPS criteria that they have now, right? Level 4, okay.
Okay.
So that trumps other stuff.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Homeless should.
Yeah, just asking.
Okay. Now the vacancy report for the towers.
Administrative transfer, huh?
Yes, so we've had 2 local refusals on 1 apartment so far.
Wow.
Jennifer is sending out, I told her to do like a bulk sending to, cause we're gonna be getting 3 more here.
Okay.
One of the apartments is an admin transfer. They need a handicap unit, so they're on a different floor. I'm moving them down.
Okay.
Okay. Any reason that you know of for the refusals?
Just unusual.
Just,
One is, selling their property,
said not ready.
not ready, and the other just it wasn't what they thought.
Okay. Okay.
And the Section 8 program, that's where we have 2 in November to December report. I knew I saw it somewhere. So we are, a few more people took you up on your Section 8 vouchers for December, it looks like, 175 out of 177, so that's great. Anything else to report on that?
November, I forgot to include this last month, so we were just at the baseline 173. With December, 2 voucher holders brought in requests for lease approvals, and I can say I received 1 more today.
Oh, good.
That we'll be doing the inspection on, and we'll still be short 1 more.
Is this because we gave you such a hard time last month? Is
Yeah,
that
I
it?
pushed for it.
Okay.
Good job, that's great. All right, and moving on to the services report.
Shirley saw 31 residents.
Kelly, Ms. Chair, if I may, what does a prospective resident in Vaughan mean, 8 of those? What is? Second page, bottom,
She's talking to them on the telephone.
telling them about what it's like to be here and stuff like that?
No, if they're calling to ask for like paperwork.
Okay, okay, okay,
application,
okay,
income.
okay.
Okay.
'Cause that's way up, but yet you had the refusal, that's why I was trying to reconcile that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and now our notice of our public hearing for our annual plan for fiscal year 2024. Do we need to do anything to call a hearing to order, or just, we do?
Yes.
So I would like to call our public hearing to order at 4:15 on December 13th. I believe this plan has been posted throughout all our buildings, and people had a chance to review it.
Yes, this plan has been up since October 28th.
Okay,
This is the annual plan for the state public housing. We have two residents from Francis Gardens here.
Hi there.
I'm happy to see them. So this plan is 120
Pages.
something pages
Yep.
long. It has all different aspects of the capital annual plan. So the first 5 pages, 6 pages has to do with the notice of public hearing in all different languages.
Correct.
Starting on page 39 is the annual plan is a document by the Housing Authority staff in advance of each fiscal year. The plan serves as a tool for local housing authorities to reflect upon prior fiscal years and an opportunity to develop clear and transparent plan that builds its successes. The plan is an important tool for tenants.
It's intended for public engagement.
It is. So with this plan, from pages 39 to 42, it has all the developments, the family units, Lake Street. It has nothing to do with federal. It has the Board of Commissioners, their dates. The dates that we advertised the public hearing, and we posted the draft for the public hearing. The annual plan hearing, that date will be in here, in the date that I present it. And if it's voted on tonight, it will be approved tomorrow with Intel grants.
Have we gotten any comments?
No comments. The capital improvement plan receives yearly awards from DHCD, Formula Funding Awards, which they are targeted to the most urgent capital needs in the CIP. They may also receive special awards from DHCD. We received special awards regarding insulation in toilets.
But the plan goes from everything from concrete to roofs, right?
Yes.
To exterior doors, to windows.
So on page 44, the capital annual plan allocation was $1,019,000, over $1 million, and the planned spending is $984.107 for all the anticipated funding available for the projects.
that's not all this year though, right?
No, that's from the beginning all the way up until 2022.
2022, or?
Yep. So if you go to page,
So why are we voting on it now if it's up to 2022?
if you look on page 47,
It tells us what year.
Yeah,
so it says remaining plan for 2022. And then it looks at the next planning years from 2023 to 2027. But this document talks about the prior years. So in here, if you look at fish number 271060 for seal
Seal
coating,
coating, yep.
we've already done that.
right.
But if you look at the exterior doors and windows, that's in the process of right now.
What number's that?
Three up from the bottom.
271076.
Yep.
And that's in fiscal year 2023. But that fiscal year don't start till April.
Okay.
The planned years, so they're saying Francis Gardens laundry room repairs, low flow toilets, South Street asphalt replacement, new catch basin, GFI's replacement of Francis Gardens. All of these are planned as they all have fish numbers. The ones that just have dots on page 48, 49,
Replace siding, common hallway, yep.
so if something comes up that's an emergency and we can pull money from one of these projects that we haven't started
Okay.
to now.
Okay.
Like, so on here is the new roofs. We were awarded ARPA funds of $189,000. That will be used for the new roof, so that will be taken out.
Okay. Do we have to spend that by a certain time? Because that project's 2026.
The ARPA funding,
Yeah.
that's being
As long as
taken-
it's allocated, we're good.
Yes, but it's a special award funding,
Okay.
so DHCD will take over that whole project. Then they have the capital improvement narratives. And on the second page, it has per unit of what it costs regarding water for each of the developments. Energy or water saving initiatives or vacancy rates. And then it has the maintenance repair plan. It has the answer machine service, what numbers to call after business hours. It has what qualifies emergency work orders. And how work orders are received. It goes emergencies, then vacancies, then preventive maintenance, routine inspections, and tenant requests. So from all the way to page 87 is all the maintenance plan repairs and requests.
Kelly, is this the same document we approve every year?
Yes, but now it's being published.
Okay, it looks different to me, it feels different. Did we get a summary in the past, or just the fish?
Just this.
Yeah.
It's a whole document, every housing authority is doing this
All
now.
right, so that, at least I'm not, okay,
Are
thank
we
you.
required to?
We're required to.
Okay.
On page 88,
I can tell you, it's very interesting.
88 of the scanned document, your page
Yes.
88. All right, you got
Your
that. I'm a
page.
page or two behind.
I'm
All
there.
right, okay, 88 where it says annual operating budget?
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It just lists the operating budget, operating reserves. Things that James talks about in his whole packet that he gives to you guys when he does the annual. So this talks about the approved revenue budget, the amounts received, 2023, and then the changes. And 2023 dollars budget per unit is $470.
Wait, what does that mean, budgeted for what? Rent?
For maintenance? and
Income or rent? Because
For
it says
ma-
revenue on the line, over to the left.
Operating?
It says revenue if you go here, though, side to the revenue.
So it's the consolidated budget for the 667 units, Francis Gardens and Elizabeth Street. So they took the approved budget revenue and the approved 2023, the percentages, and they're coming up with that. It takes $470.23,
32 cents
32 cents per
Unit per
unit
month.
to operate them.
to operate.
Okay.
In their convoluted methods.
It's not how I think about it.
And that was 89 pages.
Yes. And then it just goes through the administrative, what it takes, $129.07 for administratives, and then maintenance labor.
What happened? Okay.
There you go. Exactly.
I just gotta
Gotta find it again.
get bumped off.
No, hold on. Right there. Now you're gonna have to scroll.
Scroll to page 89.
But you also want to look at me.
I got bumped. I don't know how that happened.
So
Okay.
pages 93 through 99 is the explanation of the budget.
Okay?
Pages 100 through 105 is the PMR narratives, which this year is our buy year. So this whole document does not get published. This is just to let people know, next year, the PMR will be published, so everybody can see it. And that is on page 100.
That's every other year, the PMR, which is the Performance Management Review.
Correct.
Okay,
So I had my PMR.
last year.
Yes, I had it last year, but, so this is basically the PMR in their words. So,
From a
DHCD.
analysis that was done last year.
yes. With that, DHCD is not publishing it. So, because it's our buy year, every other year they're gonna publish the
Like on their
PMR
website.
review. Yes, on the websites. Page 106 is all the policies that we're required to have. Page
Oh, before you move off of that, don't we have a smoking policy and that doesn't have to be here?
No, these are just the required policies from DHCD.
Okay, so anything that we have in place outside of their requirements doesn't have to be listed.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Well, it says the
Well-
following, we'll go to
Yeah.
the heading of the page. It says the following policies are currently in force at Shrewsbury Housing
And
Authority.
then it's only the starred ones that are required by DHCD.
Right, but we should have the other ones. I agree with the chairman.
so the star ones mean that all of these have to be updated because they're more than 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
Starred policies are required by DHCD. Policies without a latest revision dates are not yet in force. This lists policies that have been provided by the LHA and not have been verified by DHCD.
So, local housing authority, we do have a policy that it isn't on this list, so it should be added. I think we have a few that we've done, at least in my career.
So DHCD requires policies that they want on our website. These are all the policies that we have to have on our website. If we listed all the policies, or we can, it will go on for, I have a
Pages.
binder like this.
Okay.
But these are the ones that DHCD is asking for to be on our
High profile.
website.
Okay, all right. And it looks like we have some work to do with some policies that need updating.
Yes, before the next PMR next year.
Five
Okay.
policies.
We have 5.
And that's us.
All right, well, let's not wait till
Yeah.
next year.
Just get right on it.
Let's get right on it.
Starting tomorrow.
She's all fired up.
Yeah, I like check marks, done. All
All right, Madam Chair,
right,
Page 107,
we don't have any waivers.
no, during COVID, we asked for no waivers at all. We just kept working through everything. Page 108 through 110 is the glossary, and page 111 is starting with the surveys.
Oh,
Which I thought was very interesting, how we,
So, starting in 2016, that's when DHCD started with the surveys. Round 2 surveys went out. Beginning in 2019, surveyed was 1/3 of the elderly units in fall of 2019 and in fall of 2021, and all the family units in 2020. And they expect that the elderly and disabled units will be surveyed in the fall of 2022. So if you're starting on page 113, out of 135 surveys that went out to our residents, 83 surveys were completed. And it starts with 79% contacted management about a problem. 80% felt they were usually or always treated with courtesy. 11% said they saw the capital improvement plan. 11% said they saw the operating budget. And 71% knew I had a meeting held with residents.
and where is the capital, where is it on display for people to see? No, I know, but like, do we have it somewhere at, I know it's out here.
Yep, post it on the boards.
Okay.
Right, on the board.
Or so it's in your
Yeah.
community room and
It's
that's,
on a board.
okay.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
On the next page, 57% of Shrewsbury Housing Authority residents responded to the survey that they are interested in services and programs. 4% said job training, 13% money management, 1% said children's programs, 41% said health and medical services, and 10% said adult education.
and we're above the averages on this one, so, interesting.
We were below on the previous.
Yeah,
Maintenance and repair, 13% said they had a heating problem. 64% said they had a water or plumbing problem. I just want you to know in 2017, Atlantic Power put in a new boiler replacement, and each year we have it tuned up and adjusted for water heat. That's at Elizabeth Street.
Okay.
On the next page, how many times did residents have heating problems? They said 87%. If you look at all the other housing authorities, they all had heating problems also.
I have heating problems at my house too, so.
How long did it take to fix the heating problem? 46% of the residents said less than 24 hours. How many times did residents have problems with their water or plumbing? Ours was 33%, 38, 24, 5% was 4 times or more. How long did it take to fix the water or plumbing problem? 64% said less than 24 hours it was fixed. What other problems did the
Oh my God,
residents?
that's the same across the board,
yeah, yeah,
literally.
yeah, well, 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
That's, what other problems did the responders have? Building maintenance,
yep.
outdoor space, illegal activity, and strangers hanging around. Regarding safety, our residents felt safe going out during the day, alone during the day, going out at night, at 77% and at 85% inside their building.
That's interesting.
Communication with management, 100%. Of The respondents felt that they were usually and always treated with courtesy and respect when they contacted us. And 0% said they knew that. I held a meeting with residents.
But
Zero.
that was different on the last,
I'm just reading
I know,
their
it's just, yeah.
responses.
Wasn't it 18% before?
For maintenance and repair, 100% of our residents felt they were treated with courtesy and respect from maintenance, and 100% said they were contacted by the authority before staff entered the apartment.
That's the most stellar one by comparison to norms.
Sure.
Really strong.
Kudos to our
Yeah,
Gary's
really,
team.
really
Exactly.
strong.
Yep.
How many times did residents completely lose heat? Out of the responses, people said it was 86%.
Wait.
How long did it take for heat to come back on? 100% said less than 24 hours. Other heating problems, 0% said the apartment was never too hot. 25% said the apartment was too cold. 13% said the apartment took too long to heat up, and 37% said apartment felt drafty. How many times did residents have no hot water in the apartment? Residents said 86% of the time. How long did it take for maintenance to fix the hot water to come back on? 24 to 48 hours and 100% response.
Now, where is this?
Yeah,
This is from
From
the
everybody.
surveys
Yeah.
from all the state units.
But we don't know of a specific instance.
All the
where
states,
this-
it's Elizabeth
It's
Gardens.
Elizabeth Gardens,
and
Francis
Francis.
Gardens. In the last 12 months, did residents have other water or plumbing problems? 37% said clogged drain, 25% said leaky pipes, 0% said complete loss of water, 0 said water temp problems, 13% said water stains on the ceiling, and 13% said sewer back. Residents were asked how safe they felt in their development. 87% said they felt very safe.
Good.
Reasons why respondents felt unsafe in their development. 0 responded saying hallway lighting. 0 didn't respond saying windows were not secure. They were very.
Kind of jumps off the page.
100% saying security entry doors.
So peak doors being propped open.
Yes.
Okay.
Outdoor lighting, illegal activity, strangers hanging around, sidewalk problems, and neighborhood problems were all 0.
Compared to the other authorities, that's really good.
Yeah, it just seems that we have one problem here that people don't like. Because everything else was 0 across the board.
Respondents were asked about overall satisfaction living in their development. 50% were very satisfied, 25 mostly, and 12% dissatisfied.
13% very dissatisfied.
So yeah, I look at this as 75-25.
It's
Very
25.
dissatisfied, yes.
75 positive.
Mostly and very.
Yeah, so mostly and very I bucket together, and then very and mostly I bucket together as well, so 75-25.
Jeez. It's interesting. A full 25% of our residents are dissatisfied.
But if you cross that with the norms, it's pretty close.
I understand.
Now, that's the end of.
The report.
End of report. We have 2 residents
Yep.
from Francis
And
Gardens.
this is a public hearing, so I would open this up to comments, particularly from our residents of our state units. Do you have anything you'd like to add or questions you have for us or for the executive director?
Just a question about the exterior doors, what's the status of that?
as you see, the windows in the community room have started, so once those are complete, then they're gonna be going around doing the doors. It's one whole complete job.
The windows are all fully installed, they are not yet fully sealed. Took them about 4 hours to put the windows in, but a week to get it done.
That's why we're gonna have this meeting at Francis Gardens, because of the windows. But have you seen the windows? Do you like them? Are you satisfied?
Windows
As
are
Mario
in.
should.
They're all in, 14 windows and
Yeah.
they're thermal panes and half screens.
Do they look okay?
Yes, they do.
They look
A
good?
couple of residents had commented that the existing windows in the hallways have grids, and these new ones do not. And it was just a style comment.
Right. Oh, okay, so that's fairly common, okay.
Yeah, just, you asked.
Absolutely.
We did.
And we appreciate, you coming.
They painted the room too, by the way.
Good.
The room's painted.
Maintenance painted the room.
Yes, they did
That
yesterday.
wasn't part of the windows and the doors.
Right.
We just figured why it was closed off, we would get the room painted.
It
Yeah,
looks
looks nice,
Right.
looks nice,
Good.
yeah.
Anything?
Well,
You don't want to know.
no, we do.
They do.
We do.
That's why it is the hearing. Water issues?
No, the heat issue, my thermostat has 2 settings. 75 degrees or off. It, no matter what, I set it at 55 degrees thermostat, and the living room is 75 degrees.
Well, that needs
Yeah.
to be changed.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been that way for 9 years.
They did, they need to be changed, is right.
Has she made a request for maintenance?
Have you called in the request?
No, because I'm going to deal with it.
Okay, but we're gonna make a note of it and get you a new
Okay.
thermostat.
Okay, that would, if,
Don't say your apartment number on.
Kelly will know, Kelly
Yep.
will know, okay?
thank you very much, I appreciate it. If the, but I'm sure I'm not the only one, because I believe those are.
Well, if we don't hear from people about these things, then we don't fix them. So, I mean, and we want to be able to deal with issues that arise. So my comment about that is if you're a resident in our buildings and you have a problem, please speak up,
Okay.
okay? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
No, I think we all agree with that.
I agree with
Yep,
that, yeah.
absolutely.
Those
We can't
thermos-
fix everything, but we need to know about it so that we can prioritize it.
Has the units been without hot water?
I believe the thermostats have to be changed because even in my apartment, if I turn it up to 55, it goes to 80.
Yeah.
And you can really, if you want, just turn the living room on and it'll heat the whole apartment.
I've never had the heat on.
No, I'm having a
in my
problem
bedroom
too,
in
but
9
I
years.
believe the thermostats.
Well, that
each room
costs
has
us,
to be changed.
extra money too, so
I know,
let's.
but it has to be done, it'll
Yeah.
save on the heat.
Yeah,
Has Francis Gardens been without hot water?
Not
What?
recently.
They had done some work next door to where I live, and for a short time in the process, by evening, we didn't have hot water, but they fixed it immediately.
good, good.
It's just with the surveys, I just wanted,
Hot water is seldom an issue. When it is, it's really annoying.
If I could address one thing, okay, and I did everything that's said on the policy for smoking, and a lot of Christians thought about it, believe me, and such, and it did go to court, and the answer was you must get a picture of them smoking in the apartment, obviously, and which is ludicrous, but, so I think the policy itself needs a readdressing in this day and age, and I realize that people that live there have been smoking before the policy. I was a smoker, I gave it up 40 years ago, before Peter was, and so did my husband. He ended up on oxygen. So I don't know what the answer is, and I know the woman downstairs, that she has her own difficulties, we all do. And I try to be, reasonable. But when the kids come out and complain, and they open the door to come in the building, it's just something, I think it has to be addressed, how it can be done with everyone in mind. I guess they sign a policy when they come in that they don't smoke. That has to be, I don't know, I don't know the answer.
I think you have to realize that even, no matter what our policy, when we get to court like that,
Yeah.
the court doesn't necessarily look to our policy as much as they look to their own policies on whether they're gonna actually take an action based on what they think this person deserves. So, our policy may be one thing, but what the courts do is another. In many cases, it's altogether different.
I wish I had known the date, I would have been there, you know.
I just don't know that it would have made any difference, because court personnel, I mean, they seem to set their own standards, and I guess they try to be somewhat consistent throughout Worcester County. And these problems are pretty widespread.
Well, I get your point, I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we knew their names, and we could make sure, do some of our politicking ourselves, but regardless.
Well, that's an age-old theory, yes.
But we
Yeah.
We do have some policies that we're gonna look at starting next month, so maybe we should revisit it, just to see if there is something that needs to be changed, if there's anything we can do.
I think we
We'll at
do
least look
take a
at
look
it with
at
our
it.
lists, and,
Well, I
you know,
think we can look at it and then talk with Kelly in terms of what her experience has been with regard to trying to enforce our policies. And I think that's where change comes into our policy, if at all, is we have to try to work around what the courts are doing vis-à-vis our policy. So, I agree, I think we should look at that.
Yep, we're looking at, we have three
What's the
of, well,
validity of the people signing a statement? That I don't understand.
And I think what you were saying regarding with the pictures was, and I'm not sure if it was a meeting that I had with you and the attorney for the state, or if it was another.
No,
So-
meet with you.
So Karen asks for pictures, so when we go for notices to quit or whatever, she wants to see pictures of.
Well, that was our lawyer that
someone's-
asked that?
Yes, because the nose cannot always,
I'm just,
Smell.
saying what it's
So-
impractical.
so once they sign something and we find in violation by either a resident telling us or by myself knocking on the door asking if I can come in and I seeing it, then we bring it to the attorney's attention, who writes up a notice to quit. We normally have a meeting with the tenant, and enter into agreement. If it goes further than that, we go to the court to get a court judgment regarding what we can do. In the long run, they wanna see pictures.
now, Richard, what, can people just take pictures of other residents? Would you, yeah, I mean, that seems kind of like,
Invasion of privacy.
Anyone can take a picture of anyone.
Anybody can take a picture of anybody in a public place. I'm not so sure about a private place.
right, like in the hallway, or
In
if you're
hallways
in your
or.
building, I don't know
yeah,
that.
It's,
So I think we need to look at the policy to see what's enforceable, and,
And I know in our policies, it doesn't say,
No, it doesn't,
take a
no.
picture. This is what
you're
we've
finding.
been told from the lawyer who represents the house in.
can you ask our lawyer then, make a note to ask our lawyer if there are any privacy issues to that request?
Well, I also worry about-
Door and just
Right.
flash a camera.
I mean, if someone just came up to me and took a picture of me, I think I'd be kind of upset about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I think
so we
that-
don't want to put anyone in any danger, so I think we need to get to the bottom of
That's
that.
the impracticality.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think we'll find out about the privacy issue from the lawyer, and then we'll revisit it and take it from there.
Okay.
And we appreciate your comments, because it's not just you, this happens in this building as well.
Right.
So, I mean, we have been dealing with this for a few years now, yeah. So, this is not,
You can still smell it in certain spots.
Sure.
Floors, you
Sure.
walk right by and you can smell it.
sure.
But does it go back to the making them sign that statement, because then that's not in truth.
That statement is just a consent that they understand the policy, so if we take them to court and say, you've signed and consented, we have proof, but to Richard's point, that doesn't, them signing a policy, consenting to it, doesn't ensure a clerk magistrate holding up the policy or voting in our favor.
Okay, I've never seen this. Okay.
It's just an admission of consent to a policy.
Thank you for your time, I just thought you should be able to.
This is,
No,
this is
yeah,
one
this
more
is why
thing
we're
that we
doing
just
it.
have to work on, and we appreciate your comments. I mean, I think it's very important that we hear from people like you, and Al, as you pointed out, we hear from you folks as well, so, you know, it's an ever ongoing process, and we try to do our best in this regard. So-
I visited my son he invited me to go over to help with my recovery, to unburden his siblings in Australia, and he smokes. Now, we gave up smoking for him. So the first time I went over in 2003, he smoked in front of me. I didn't say a word for 3 days. And I finally looked him straight in the eye and I said, listen, your dad died. He was on oxygen. He gave it up for you. Believe me, that was the most difficult thing I ever did. And I said, and you know what happened and how much, it took out of him. And you go right ahead and smoke. That's all. I was there for 5 weeks, and he smoked, and I didn't say a word. My mother can only say so much, but, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I
We
was
did it.
born the first time.
Yep. Oh,
Well, thank you for your comments.
yes, thank you. Anything else to add? Then I think I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing, or no? I have to vote.
And I think
Okay.
that, I don't have any comments about this.
Okay.
Did you
We
right?
have another issue, don't we?
This is just
This is just the,
yeah, not close the meeting,
this
just
is
close
about
the
the
public
annual
hearing.
plan, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Now, you're
We
next.
got you.
I'll be good for a while.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
next.
Yeah, yeah.
Mind your manners.
We're still in public.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the plan as presented.
Is there a second?
So move, second.
Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Does
carries.
that require signatures?
No.
Okay.
And then now we close the public hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for coming up here too. I'm sorry we couldn't be there.
I'm sorry, who's second?
Mario seconded.
Thank you.
Okay. And next is this notice of public housing.
Yep.
The PHN
Yep.
20,
Yep.
is that it?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's, so what is this?
It's a notice of funding availability.
Yes, I printed this out. Due to the last meeting, Richard asked about getting the deed for Elizabeth Street to see if we can maybe work with the CPA, is that right?
Yep.
Yes,
CPA.
Community Preservation Act.
Yep.
To get maybe more housing. After looking through all the notices, I came across the Public Housing Notice 2022-20, which means that's the 20th notice in 2022. And they're talking about 705 repositioning. Provides local housing authorities with an opportunity to dispose of their scattered sites and replace them through construction of new and consolidated development. This
This is exactly what we're asking for, right?
family units.
Okay, units
yeah.
of some kind, but okay, all right, go ahead.
This NOFR cannot be funded for the creation of any net new state-aided public housing units.
Oh,
However, LHAs may combine awards under this NOFR with other sources of funding to create new affordable housing units alongside the replacement of state-aided public housing units. So if we have land at Elizabeth, we could build
More units,
more
family, we have family units. Okay,
If attending to construct a new development, the LHA must have vacant land available or have a clearly delineated path towards obtaining such a developable land. This could be site of one of the existing 705 units or other LHA owned land. So that's good.
okay. And so you think that there is land available, and I think we've all thought that there is some additional land at Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, I thought.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
have, maybe at the next meeting, we could have a copy of the survey.
I was just
Would
gonna
we
ask
have,
for
would we
that.
have to order a
I
survey?
was just gonna ask. is
I
there
think we have a
survey?
plot plan. We have a plot plan somewhere in the Elizabeth.
Her body language
Files.
tells me no.
I'll look.
We did one for the construction of the building itself.
And
So if you look at the old.
96?
Yeah, and if you look at the old construction documents, if you have them, then there'll be a plan in there. There'll be a survey plan in there.
if I cannot find those plans,
We
where,
can check with the building department and the town hall, because they will have a copy of it as well.
Hopefully, they should, it's recent
That's
enough.
right, it's recent enough.
Right,
And that should be a survey of the whole parcel.
right, okay.
So let's start there, okay?
okay.
All right.
But this application, if we wanna do something like this, needs to be submitted by June 9th, 2023.
And that's fine. I think you're gonna see other programs coming forward as well, so I just wanted to, I asked Kelly if she could look into see what is out there and then report to us at the meeting, and she has, so.
And shouldn't we do this for our other lands that, because there's other parcels that we own in town too. This isn't the only one that's not built on, right? There's other,
No.
there's nothing
Not that I'm
else?
aware.
I thought there was.
No,
I mean,
well,
maybe,
we
but I'm
used
not aware.
Ridgeland Road, so.
Okay, there's not another parcel that everything's used there, so the only land we have left is at Elizabeth?
Yeah, we have some land here, but this is federal and
Right.
it's not,
Okay,
yeah. And I don't know whether you could use CPA funds on federal land anyway, so, you know. It's something for us to consider.
Mhm.
We're a housing authority, this is what we
Okay.
do, so,
all right.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great idea.
yeah. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for finding that.
CPA couldn't be used for federal?
I don't believe so, based on what I know. I'll confirm, but I don't think.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think so. That's my limited knowledge of it.
yeah.
Well, one step at a time. I mean,
Right.
also,
Yep.
let's not boil the
All right.
ocean here.
The thing is, we're in the right direction.
Right,
We're
right.
gonna
That's-
try
yeah,
to
that's what I
find
mean.
more
Right,
housing.
right,
Right. All right.
And it's with that in mind that Kelly gave us this Elizabeth deed, all right?
Yeah, I looked through.
And I can tell you that it refers to plans of Jordan Park, which will also lay out certain things. And I can work with Kelly.
Oh, you know what, it
I
even
can
says
work with
where the
Kelly to-
tax plate, it says where the,
I can work with Kelly to put together
all right.
a copy of the plans that this refers to, okay?
Yep, thank you.
It's like Mrs.
Just
McSweeney was
remember,
saying,
that's
it tells you where the
Yeah, tax,
Is going on.
which is not a survey, but at least it tells you what page to go look at.
Okay, all right,
See the selectmen, kind of funny.
Yeah.
Down memory lane.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
now,
Are we on to board meeting form? Ms.
We
McSweeney?
are on to a board meeting form for Mrs. Billings.
wait a minute, was it filled out correctly?
It was filled out correctly, and I am thrilled with this, because this is exactly what we want to hear from our residents. So you have the floor.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate you all taking the time, and I know you've been here a long time, so I'll just.
Don't worry about that.
Last month, this is all my interpretation of stuff. Last month, when it was mentioned that there was a $1 million CD, like CDs, sitting someplace and being mentioned possibly to use it in another building, my ears wanted, had steam coming up, but I could not speak at that meeting. I don't understand why some of the money that's sitting someplace can't be used to benefit the people that are already here. Now, I'm not speaking for Francis Gardens because I'm here, I'm at the towers. Our plumbing issues come and go like the wind, you know, it's sometimes the residents that cause it. I don't know if money could be spent to preventively or not. That's one thing. And the blinds on the 7th floor solarium, now Kelly looked this up for me, and they were purchased in 2018.
Oh, really?
Part of them don't work.
Okay.
And I don't know about the third. Gail says 3rd floor also. But I know the 7th floor doesn't. And the windows on the 7th floor, you have to be Superman to open them. And then, God forbid, that somebody opened one and you want to use the room for something, you can't close it. So either you die from the heat or you freeze. And that might be just a little minor thing, I don't know. And sometimes I think maintenance comes in and thinks, look at this one. Yeah, they walk out. We can't do that. We're not strong enough. They need to be, you know, able to be used by old people. And my last thing is, why can't we use some money to buy some new furniture for our lobby? As far as I know, when the building has been here, there's been furniture, at least in the last 5-6 years, there's been furniture in the lobby until COVID, and then the furniture was removed. It was old furniture to begin with, and since then, there's been nothing. Now, we move a couple of chairs out. You know, for a while that was supposed to be a no-no, but if you're waiting for your laundry, if you're waiting for your company, if you're waiting for a ride, it would be nice, and the lobby would look so much better if it had some nice furniture in it. And so, that's what I thought you could do with the $1 million.
Excellent. Yeah, and thank you very much. I think the plumbing is a capital issue, so really doesn't fall under this. And it is for federal because the money is there from the antennas on the roof, and now we have some money coming in because of the rental of the parking spaces. So I agree, I think we can perhaps use some of this money for this. I think there's two things we have to do. Kelly did, when Kelly said, as chair, Kelly sent me a message and said, we have a request from the board, you know, can she talk? I said, absolutely, because this is great. Kelly took some pictures for us of the solariums, and our thought was, and of course the board would have to consent, is to get some pricing for some furniture that we could perhaps use there and in the lobby. But I also think, and this was Paul's suggestion, we do, since it's policy day, we probably need to work on some sort of policy for expenditures like this going forward. So that is my thoughts, and I would open this up to my fellow commissioners for comment.
I would love to make a comment.
Go right
If I
ahead.
could tip my hand to you a little bit.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you. Near and dear to my heart. And I also thank our chair, because what I said to her yesterday, off the record, but I'm happy to disclose it, is she kind of woke a sleeping giant, was the exact term I used, and I think it was a great idea. We have these funds here, and I guess there's very restricted about what we can and can't do with the money, and I think everybody knows that, and I'm not gonna beat a dead horse on that. But it has to be federal for federal, it has to be tower for tower, and the money is, you said, I don't know where and what, there's no reason we can't be transparent about that. The money is held in CDs, most of which are either at TD North or at Shrewsbury Central One Credit Union. I may miss a couple here and there. And we've always kind of felt, I don't know what the right word is, historically proud. Oh, look at the money we have, it's gaining interest, we've got this coffer. And when we get our budgets, we've always been afraid that we would get drawdowns on this money, and we always wanted to have a backup for you guys. So that's kind of how we got here. All of that said, the money is growing, and when we talked, it kind of came about by talking of the land use, and I think we know, as Ms. Sweeney just said, we're gonna have money coming in annually from the land use, and we have this money sitting here. Now, we don't wanna be, like an irresponsible teenager and run out and, spend all the money on X, Y, and Z. I'm not suggesting you're saying that, I'm just saying, but the thought of, we have X amount, suppose it's, I'll say $1 million, you can't quote me on that, I'm using it as an example. Suppose there's $1 million. There's no reason we couldn't say that we want to draw down, and this is a board decision, not mine, this is just an idea, 5, 8, 10% of that money annually on certain expenditures, which Kelly would have to present to us and we would approve, knowing that 5, 8, 10% would be coming back in the interest of funds we're earning, in the rent from the parking spaces, all of that. So we weren't in this position of being so financially prudent and then going to nothing. But in the interim, if there's things that we can do in this building based on the antennas on the roof, I say yeehaw. Like, I think the furniture is a great idea, I think the blinds are. We have to be responsible, Kelly has to do her work, she has to get quotes, we have to figure out what we can do, but I can tell you, like, emotionally, philosophically, yeah, I think it's a great idea. So, I don't know if Mr. Ricker has anything to add, but,
No, I
that's
agree,
my 2
I
cents.
agree. It's overdue,
Yeah.
and I haven't looked at those solariums in quite some time, and
Yeah.
thank you for bringing it up. I think,
Yeah.
we have the money. The money is there for use in this building, and I think we should use it. I think we're going to have to go through a process.
Exactly.
And that's what we
That
have to
process,
figure out.
that process may involve even dealing with an interior design firm in order to get, some sort of, idea of what it's gonna look like. And redoing these
100%.
different rooms.
Don't make it too complicated.
Yeah, yeah.
We wanna do it
Yeah.
right. I think it's
I gotta tell you.
I could go to the furniture store.
No, you can't. No, you can't. It's not like one of us can go to the furniture store and just, buy a piece here and buy a piece there. It's just, one person's, gonna love the stuff and the other person's gonna say, well, who the hell picked that out? So, the blinds definitely need it. There's no question about it.
They were
I'm surprised that they're so
2018.
new. They're only 4 years old, if I heard that correctly.
The capital improvements surprise me. The plumbing is something that as you know, we're working on all the time, and
That wouldn't be a prudent use of
and
this
we
money.
can't use,
That's it.
I don't think we can use that money
Right.
for that, all right? So, but I think that we can use this money for improving the interior decor of various parts of this building, and I absolutely am in favor of it. So,
I also am totally in favor. I mean, this is their home, and they deserve to have it be welcoming, warm, and with the benefit of, either an interior designer or the latest and the greatest with virtual staging, we can present to them and get their opinion, and have it be, something that is going to be warm and inviting, and you're not going to please everyone, but at least they would know what is available.
Mario, any comments?
Yeah, I believe that should be done, because if they got the money, I mean, and it's a shame, because if it came up sooner, we could have bought all the Brotmans.
That's why I said Miss McSweeney woke a
Yeah.
sleeping giant.
Would have been a big deal at
Yeah.
70% off.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm in favor for it, absolutely.
So the question is in favor for what? Now we have
Yeah,
to.
now we have to figure out
Yeah,
what.
yeah.
Kelly,
Yeah.
do you have any comments or follow-up, or?
I do.
Dare we ask?
We always have to be careful what we're flushing down the toilet. Kitty litter,
I get that, I mean, I don't do that, but I
diapers,
understand.
wipes. The last time G&L Plumbing or Drain Away was here was on November 4th. The pictures of the solariums have become extra storage for residents' belongings.
See it.
You can see that.
As we see in the pictures, these belongings are from current and past residents. I would
Cheers.
like to clean them all out and start fresh.
Richard?
Why can't we get that, Rich, why can't we get that piano out of there?
I don't even know if it's any good, no one even.
Someone says it's no good on the floor.
I heard that, and I think that they had a problem tuning it.
Yeah.
And so it should go.
It's
Yes,
way
I agree with you.
Yeah, it should go. That was originally my piano, actually.
When I first heard about it, I said, why don't
Well,
somebody do something about it to get?
It worked good, but I think the fluctuations of heat and cold may not have done it any good. But if it's no good, it's gotta go. So,
Yeah, and to Kelly's point about the storage, this isn't a self-storage unit, yeah.
I cleaned a lot of the stuff out in that closet that everybody was bringing down, and I made 5 trips to save it. Bringing
Good.
furniture,
Good.
pictures, everything out of there, and I got it all cleaned up now, and we're using it for our storage, you know, in here that we don't, use. But now I gotta make another trip.
well,
I agree with the solariums. I agree with the community room. I do not agree with the lobby having chairs out there. I was contacted by family members of somebody who was taken out for a fall, that Susie talked to this person, and it got back that Susie died when she just went out for a fall. So the family members were kinda disturbed that people are sitting out in the lobby watching, or more going into the lobby when they see the lights of emergency personnel outside. They're running down to sit in the lobby to find out who's going out. And that's the hard part
Is that
of,
something we all do?
But
I
it
mean,
is-
Yes,
it
we
is a
all
place
do that.
where you wait for someone picking you up, wait
Oh,
for your groceries
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I
It is a
agree.
waiting place.
and I understand
I
that.
understand that's bad, but
It's also getting congested out there. With the chairs, with the table, with everything, as with the halls, in front of the elevators. I mean, I walked the halls with Gary today, and some are just nice and neat. Others, there's all stuff on the walls, like, it's a fire hazard. On certain floors, there's enough room to walk out of the elevator, but there's a lot of stuff that people did not want in their apartments that leave it out.
Yeah, I was telling Donald that
Yep.
this morning on our floor, somebody's dumping in the area where you're talking about.
So, at the end of the day, it comes down to what the board wants, and
let us think about it.
absolutely. The blinds 3 years ago cost $800. I know with inflation, we could be looking at $1,000 to $1,500
and
per
are the
set.
blinds damaged? Do they just not work, or can it?
they get crispy.
heat from the-
They're plastic,
The
and
sun.
and with the severe
sun.
heat up there, they just
Good,
snap.
yeah.
And one side of the 7th floor bottom one, you can't close it all.
No.
You need cloth.
And if you go in
Block.
there, like we do in the summer.
So you have to look at your options,
Too cheap.
because the plastic does not work.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Too cheap.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's something you get in your home when there's one person using them, not a place like this.
I have no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of furnishings and the kind of updating we need to do has to be of a quality that is gonna withstand
Commercial.
The
More
use
of a
by many
commercial.
people.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not your ordinary residential shade. So I think that's one of the reasons why I mentioned dealing with an interior design,
Yeah, okay.
because they know what you need. They know what you need, they know, they source these things,
They do.
and,
In a commercial application.
they know that you need a commercial application that looks good for a residential purpose. So it's a fine line there, and we're not qualified to
I get that.
do this stuff.
I don't get the lobby though. I mean, for how many years was there furniture out there?
I agree, there was furniture there for a long, long time, for many
Okay,
years.
So now all of a sudden, somebody complains and so no furniture for the rest of us.
Well, why don't you let us consider that?
Drag out the
I hear you, I'm sure the rest of the board hears you. We also hear Kelly, and we respect her opinion as well.
I know.
Let us think about
I
it,
know,
let us think about it,
okay,
okay?
yep,
And look at it.
okay, thank you.
And with
So
the-
what are our next steps, though? Let's have some marching orders here.
Right.
I think if we're going to have someone take a look at these things, we have the money. Let's have,
Right.
let's have Kelly find 2 or 3, maybe a couple of design firms. Come out here, take a look, and tell us what they're gonna charge us to do this.
Have any other, rather than design, can we talk to other housing authorities to see if they've ever undertaken a project like this?
Want to go on a field trip?
Yeah.
Glad you got time.
I was gonna say, if that was to me, it was a
So-
hard no.
Me, you, and Mrs. Billings, we're gonna go on the road.
Field trip.
To get the band back together.
Speaking of some housing authorities that I've seen, they don't have the furniture like this. Some just have the basic round tables, fold-in chairs. That's it. Nothing in the lobbies. And that's probably 3 that,
You can think of.
I mean, I've,
Well, why don't you do a field trip and come
Yeah.
back and
Do
report
they have
to us?
solariums? Is that unique to us or to other places?
Well,
You
they
kind
have
of have
community
demo.
rooms, but.
Yeah,
oh,
This building's pretty common construction back
Yeah.
when it was built.
yeah, I can talk to Alex to see if,
okay,
we can do a walkthrough of Belmont Street.
All right.
And it's just like here and nothing.
okay, all right.
Um,
So most places have less than we have here.
much less,
Okay,
yes. Very fortunate here.
okay. Okay.
So, with the lobby, there is one, the set that used to go with this couch right here.
Yeah.
That's out there.
Kinda like a love, that's like a love seat.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what they call them.
And there's a couch out there now?
No.
That was, there was 2 couches, that one and a bigger one
Okay.
out there.
The chair out there.
They call this one a love seat, I guess.
They're right there.
Oh, yeah.
The set was out there.
Yeah,
As long
okay.
as it's clean and
Yeah, we gotta wipe, be able to wipe it down.
we have to wipe it down all the
Because
time.
we got certain people that,
We get it.
We know. We've heard this before.
Yeah,
you know what, that's why it says, that you want to say.
has to be washable.
That's why we watch 'em.
Okay. I do think that, you know, a field trip is great if you guys have the time to do it, but I think we should get the names of a couple of
Couple interior designers.
interior
consultants.
designers and get them out here, have them take a look and give us proposals.
Yeah.
Tell them what we want, which is a good commercial grade, but attractive look, and come up with some ideas. And that's what they do, that's what you pay them for.
Yep. All right, well, Kelly, we can work on that.
Kelly, I can offline give you one, I know one. You can get a few, I know one.
My wife used to be an interior decorator, so she knows a few, I'm sure.
Or even to call over to like Benchmark and see who they use for their, and well, Orchard Meadow and.
Right.
Sure,
who they're-
Yeah,
sure.
same thing.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
All right,
May I just ask one question?
of
No,
course.
no more questions.
Yes, you can. Don't listen to him, he's not the chair.
Do you, is this posted in the different buildings?
Yes.
The agenda is posted in that
Oh,
building? It is,
yes.
okay, it'll be on your bulletin board.
So Mario usually comes and I hand him a copy. He's, 'cause
It's
he
on the
goes
board up there.
into
I'm
Elizabeth
not-
Street.
There's stuff on the board up there, yes.
The minutes, because
Yeah.
it gets posted.
It's on
If you
both
find out
boards.
it's not on the board, we want to know.
You get Kelly in trouble.
I'm thinking
So
Mario.
Or maybe, I was just gonna say, maybe
Yeah,
Mario.
yeah,
Maybe Mario.
It's on both boards.
So here, it's in 3 different places. We have a glass enclosure that it's right there. It's always on the website,
Oh, you're
and always on the community room boards.
in the building.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
it's on our board
Yep.
with bathroom, and it's on our board right where the other room is. There's 2 boards that got it all on.
I'm glad it's at the
The
bathroom.
bathroom, I know, I
Yeah.
chuckled at that
Yeah.
one.
And generally, it's the second Tuesday of the month. It does change occasionally
Right.
due to scheduling, but more often than not, it's the second Tuesday.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, I was just
when's
gonna
our
say, we
next-
should talk about
Yeah.
that. Would you wanna do a motion to adjourn, then we'll do it?
Now, let's talk about the next meeting date,
I meant off camera, so it's,
so people will know.
And our January meeting is typically at Francis Gardens.
Hallelujah.
so it should be the 10th, Kelly.
Should be the 10th.
10th of
That is
January.
currently good for me, Mr. Chair.
10th of January.
January 10th.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh, what did I just do?
What would be the time? 4?
4. I just deleted something. Yep, works for me. Does it work for everybody
Works
else?
for me.
All right.
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
I have to check something, okay?
Okay. Is it something you can check easily, or should we
Yes.
revisit this?
Yeah. No, I'm just figuring out,
Francis?
yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, so the next meeting is January 10th at 4 o'clock at Francis Gardens. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Make a motion.
moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for your participation.